Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth part of the sales training and the final part of the sales training video series. And today we're going to kind of sum up what we've done and get a little closure to what we've been doing. So, first off, as always, our vision and our mission. This is important because we want to remember why we are putting in the effort in, why we work so hard, and why we never ever give up. And that is because for ourselves, but especially for our clients and friends, we make dreams reality. And every single day and everything we do changes lives. It brings champagne moments to other people's lives. We strive to be the best at everything we do every day because people depend on us and have put their future in our hands. We honor that commitment by improving every single day. So, what have we covered? Well, we start off with why we sell, and that is to remember the phrase selling is helping. Can't tell you how many times that people have come up and after they've bought something through us have thanked us for it. Look at the members of the Swedish Wealth Institute. Look at the investors who have bought our deals. Look at everyone now who's investing in Barworks. It's if someone buys from you, they should thank you for it because you're helping them. And that's important to remember. And that's why it's so important to remember what's in it for me. Not me as the salesperson, me as the client. That's what they're thinking. What's in it for me? Why is Daniel or John or Charlene or Stina or Adele or Mark or anyone else, why are they calling me? What's in it for me? If you can answer that, if you can speak in those terms, what's in it for you? This is what I'm going to do for you. This is what you're going to get. This is your benefit. Then you'll have a sale. And it's about respect. It's about caring, figuring out what is their greatest pain. What do they really, really care about? And more than that, who are they? And once you've answered that, you will always get questions and objections. So, 6 steps for handling it. We went through how to first listen to their objection, then repeat it to make sure that you've understood it, isolate it. In other words, ask, is there anything else so that you get all the objections out onto the table? Question it so you really go deep and answer it. And then finally, close it. The sales process, how we bring them through earning the right. Why should you be talking to me? What do I bring to the table? To analyzing and doing the needs analysis, just like a doctor, trying to get the diagnosis right, to fact find first, and then present our diagnosis and our solution before handling all the objections and closing. So we then covered how to present your product, how to do it in the form of stories, and how to explain what you're going to do in a way and in a story that covers all their objections. So hopefully when you go for the close, there isn't a single objection left to answer. And then how to negotiate, different techniques of getting them to tell you the price first, how to start the negotiation and work yourself down. Today, we're going to talk about the flow of the deal and getting the sale. So first, what is the flow of the deal? The flow of the deal, what I mean when I say that, it's really about the flow of the discussion. It's about how all these steps come together and create this beautiful picture and this beautiful result. It's about listening to your client. So we already went through the sales process. And in the sales process, you have all these steps. We've also talked about different personality types, that some people are very expressive and want to talk. Others are more analytical and want numbers and are always right. Others are more dominant and want to get there quickly. And some are sympathetic, want to know that everyone's on board and everyone's going to be happy and that no one's going to be angry over this decision. You've got to think about this when you're working on the flow of the deal. Because if you go too fast with a sympathetic or an analytical, if you're moving quickly through the process, if you do a quick needs analysis and then work through, they're going to be really uncomfortable. The analytical won't feel you've understood them enough and therefore can't give a good recommendation, and therefore you don't really care about giving a good recommendation, and therefore they cannot trust you. The sympathetic will be worried that we haven't looked at all the different angles to see who might get angry at them for doing this. So we got to do some more, slow it down a little and work on it. The expressive, they might get angry because if you're going too fast, you're not talking. On the other hand, the dominant will love it. They want to just get through it quick, get to the deal and get done. So it's important to work on this when you work on the flow of the deal. You match your personality, you match the person you're talking to. One thing I've always learned is that people, whatever type of person, they always buy based on emotion. Always. Even if they're analytical and they need to know the facts might be good. They still won't buy if they don't want to. One way to get it to do is to control the flow, control the energy. People, when their energy is raised, they become a little ecstatic, they become happy, they become a little more impulsive, and it's more fun. Even analyticals have fun. Even analyticals want to have fun. The thing is, it's about putting the flow at a slightly higher level than the person's natural level. Okay, so the energy in the conversation has to be a little higher than their base energy. So if you're talking to expressive, you want to get energy, you want it to flow, you want the tempo, you want the pleasure, you want the passion, you want the da 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 da, and that will get them going. They'll get excited and they'll want to make a deal. With a dominance, you want to make sure, hey, it's going well, it's going fast, you're complimenting them. They want this, they're quick, there. We need a call. All right, let's go for it. With the sympathetic and the analytical, the little calmer types, you find their base rate. If this is their base rate, you just raise it a little bit. You go a little faster than they're used to. You just get them a little more energized just so you can slowly move them to the process. All right? You want to feel their flow, their feeling, their emotions. And then as you move them through the sales process, you have to make sure to take every box in their personality and their needs. You really got to go in for the needs analysis. This will be your most important step, the needs analysis, because this is when they talk. And you control that. You make sure they're talking about what you want them to talk about. You put the questions there planned. And you move them through, you move them through, you move them through. You're controlling the conversation. You're controlling the flow all the way from the start until the sale. This is an exercise I want you to do. I want you, for the next week, every single time you're talking to a person, I want you to think for yourself, am I trying to sell something here? It can be, where do we go to dinner? What do we eat for dinner? What are we going to watch on TV? Can I take the shower first? Should you take it first? Anything, whatever it can be. It can be business, it can be personal, it can be relationships, it can be who at the gym, who's gonna get to use the bench press between you and the other person, or should you share, or what are you gonna do? So in every single situation, I want you to think, okay, am I trying to sell? Am I trying to get my will through here? And if you see that you are, I want you to first make sure that you're using the entire sales process. Okay, so use the sales process. And then I want you to think about the flow. Who am I talking to? What speed are they at? And then move. And remember, if they are angry, if it's a negative energy, then you have to calm everything down. Deflate the negative energy. Once it's completely deflated, then you can start working up to a positive energy. So if you, for example, say you're in New York, you're both getting, for two people go after a cab, a taxi. So they both grab at the door and they start arguing. This is my cab, this is my cab, this is my cab. You cannot go by using the flow and raising the energy, because that will raise the negative energy until there are punches. So what you have to do then is you calm the energy down. You slow the conversation down and say, wow, Yeah, I understand we both went for it. I've actually been waiting for 10 minutes. What's your situation? Where do you need to go? Are you in a hurry? And you calm it down. And then you can start raising it again. Because once that person is calmed down and their energy is neutral, then you can start raising it with positive energy because now you're leading it through questions and the discussion into the positive. So I want you to first realize, am I selling? Next, use the sales process, do the needs analysis, and then control the flow. Next, we get to the most important part of any sale, getting it, getting the sale. If you've gotten an agreement, make sure to close it, okay? And this close can be in multiple different ways, places, and steps. Sometimes a close isn't in one step. You might not, for example, if you're buying a house, you might not get them to accept your offer right then and there. That might not be your goal because if they do, you might have given too high an offer. Instead, you break it down. For example, when you're selling a property, I've been working with a property investment. So what you do is there are essentially 4 steps to the sales process. The first step is getting the interest form sent out, or getting them to accept the send out of the interest form. Next is to get them to fill it out. Third is to get them to fill it out and send passport and proof of ID, proof of address. Next, for them to read the sample contract, then agree to a date to sending over the funds, and then finally signing the contract. So in that sales process, step 1, in every single call, I'm not going after sign the contract. I'm going after first, are you interested in enough in the deal to read a 16-page brochure? Good. Once I have that accept, say, all right, so once you're done, I want you to fill out and send me back the form. So now this is my close. I'm going for this close. It's just an interest. They're just saying, I would like this. Once they've bought that and they've sent me that form, then I send them the sample contract and I say, all right, let's book a meeting to go through it. And we go through it. Are there any questions? Do you have any objections? Is there something you're worried about? No, good. And it's done. Then, good. So the next step is to get your actual contract. And to get that drawn up, we need to know when the money can be in their accounts. So by what date can you transfer it? They tell me an agreed date. They've agreed to the sale. And then finally, they get the contract, we sign it, they've transferred the funds, and the deal is done, and everyone has gotten paid. All right? So you can break up a sale into each part. It's very safe, each step. It's very safe to send in an interest form. You got it. It's time for the next step. The next step, the next. Oh, you made it all the way through. Congratulations. And by breaking down a close, all this can be done in one closing, though. All this can be done in one conversation. So if you're buying a house, you could break it into any 5 steps. What's your mortgage? The close might be, if I could clear your entire mortgage and make sure you had £10,000 in your pocket, well, that's actually a pretty tough one. You want to break it down. So you want to discuss with them every single step. So think about it in your own sale. Here's another exercise for the week. If you're trying to make a sale to someone, if you have a product you're constantly selling, if you're constantly trying to buy houses or sell property, sell membership, sell products, break it down. What is the first step? What is the first safe step where they say, okay, I'm in? And then the next step, and the next step, and the next step, the next step. For the Swedish Wealth Institute, could be after that we've presented the opportunity to become a member, you write your name on a form to be contacted. Once we contact you, that's when we ask you for the next step. That way you've gotten everyone interested, they sign up, and then you go for the deal later. So breaking it down, 5-step closes, 3-step closes, anywhere where you can move people slowly through a buying process. If you can get someone to say yes to you 7 times in a conversation, it is really, really hard for them to go and say no. So that's a trick. With that, we are done with our entire sales training. I hope it's been very, very useful for you. I've enjoyed it. I've gotten a lot of great feedback, which I always, always appreciate. Our next webinar is on the 29th of September. It will be our very own Linnea, who will be talking about online branding through social media, something she is a specialist in. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that.